On the 538th day of the war in Ukraine, the fighting was concentrated in these areas. Today, very important news comes from Kherson front, where Ukrainian forces using the HIMARS system to its limits managed to cause great damage to the Russian air defense. A few hours ago, pro-Ukrainian sources published this video taken from the defense forces of the southern Ukraine. Using their drones, the Ukrainian forces closely followed the Russian air defense unit operating in the southern Kherson region. I managed to geolocate a part of this video and mark the position of the Russian air defense on the map, a few kilometers south of Kalanchak and not less than 80 kilometers from the city of Kherson. What makes this action impressive is the fact that the Ukrainian forces have used their resources to the maximum, and by doing so, they managed to cause considerable damage to the Russian air defense. According to the Ukrainian forces, their drones were following the Russian air defense unit for several hours. The Russian group consisted of several radar stations as well as S-300V launchers, which reportedly have an operating range of about 75 kilometers. Positioned in a strategic location, the Russian air defense unit felt safe at such a large distance from the Ukrainian-controlled territory. Despite feeling secure by the safe distance, the Russian forces were still very careful and changed their position every hour to make them an even more difficult target. Fuel trucks were available to the group to supply the systems, so they were always on the move. With all the measures taken, the Russian forces could not escape the impressive accuracy and range of the HIMARS. As I said above, according to my calculations, the closest distance from the shores controlled by the Ukrainian forces is no less than 80 kilometers, about 50 miles, which means that the Ukrainian forces have indeed used this system to its limits regarding the operating range. Despite the great distance, HIMARS turned out to be quite accurate and efficient, destroying 3 launchers of the S-300 systems, 1 fuel truck, as well as seriously damaging 2 radar stations of the Russian forces, a truly impressive feat. In Bakhmut front, new facts emerged about the powerful Russian counterattack on the Klishchiivka-Andriivka line. Many sources think that the Russian attack in the direction of Klishchiivka and the destruction of the Russian mechanized group in the vicinity of Andriivka are likely two related events, so based on these 2 geolocated videos and looking at the movements of the Russian armored groups, I built a possible route of the Russian counterattack. Near Andriivka, the Russian group seems to come from the east, possibly from the direction of Odradivka, following the nearby forest line, and by seeing the direction of the first tank turning right, most likely the Russian convoy that managed to survive and went on to attack Klishchiivka, passed by the railway line to the north and then turned left to attack Ukrainian positions through the fields east of Klishchiivka. Near Andriivka, the Russian forces lost 3 tanks, 2 T-90M and 1 T-80 BVM, as well as 2 armored vehicles, all in the same place shown on the map. According to reports from the field, their destruction came as a result of the combined work of the 3rd Assault Brigade and 26th Artillery Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. While in the direction of Klishchiivka, the rapid Russian attack also did not give the expected results. As reported by representatives of the 3rd Ukrainian Assault Brigade, the Russian forces that landed near Klishchiivka were unable to take up positions inside the village. The Russian armored units were seen withdrawing at the end of the video, so, in conclusion, we can say that the Russian counterattack was a failure because the Russian forces lost more than half of the equipment used on this operation and also most of the troops that landed near Klishchiivka. Friends, if you like my daily updates, I kindly ask you to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as this will greatly help the channel to reach a wider audience. That's all for today's update. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and have a great day.